Good afternoon. This is Commander Daddy O from League of Carnage, and I'm just checking in on this fine Sunday morning. I got a cup of coffee, fleet carrier full of ships and treasure and stuff. But I got to figure out what I'm going to do here because here's the deal. That's me right there. See, I was on an expedition a few months ago and I had to leave town for a while. I was offline, had a game. So I came back and the expedition's on the other side of the galaxy. So, but I had my fleet carrier here. We were right next to that cute little nebula right there with a pulsar inside of it. And that's where I left off. So I have a couple of thousand tons of tritium. I'm on a tritium triple hotspot right here. But where am I? Watch this. Watch, 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 watch. Spoiler, that's Beagle. We're about 13,000 light years south of Beagle in the Imperium Straits, or Formorian Straits, I'm sorry. So we are way up here. Sagittarius A is here, some 40,000 light years away. The bubble is 58,000 light years away or so. The nearest gas would be over here, I think, is the nearest tritium. They don't sell tritium at Sagittarius A. Everyone's trying to buy it there. This is the most north occupied base. There's a base here that's the most northern place that you'll find humans living permanently. And I'm thinking of really going to it. It's about 13,000 light years away. There's, you can buy tritium here, maybe. I guess there's a tritium sales here. Rendezvous Point was one of the places where the team was meeting before they took off. And this guy right here, this is my binary Earth-like world. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that has 5 terraformable planets. It has 2 ELWs, a terraformable water world, and 2 terraformable metallics. So all laid out in a line. So I got that right there. I could go visit that. I haven't been there in a while. That's my system. I'd love to colonize it, but they're not anywhere near it. I have another one over here too, right in the middle. This is part of the right here. This is the neutron highway. It kind of starts along here and then kind of goes around like this, and then it stops about here. I think is the neutron highway peters out. It's down at about 14,000 negative light years below the center line. So I've got a binary here. I've got a ship parked there. I think that's the expedition. This is where they are now because I had some ships on board one of the carriers. And I got some friends over here. So the question is once I fuel up my fleet carrier, where do I want to go? I've been to Beagle. I have first footfalls way beyond Beagle. Way out here, I have first footfalls. There aren't any more of those because there were only a few stars out here and they've all been taken. So if you have first footfalls out here, you demand. If you have first discoveries out here, you are demand. So there I am. Oh, I almost forgot. There is one other place that I really should go. before the expedition, I was in the middle of building a racetrack, a very cool racetrack. You see this little planet here? You can put 6 bases on them. Now, the limit is they can only be within about 200 kilometers of each other. They can't be any closer. So I've got them stretched out. I got 5 of the 6 started. They're stretched out, 200 kilometers between each. I need to go back and haul supplies and build these and then set up a road course for SRVs. So it'd be like a 10-hour challenge or an air course for Vipers. It'd be a race course. You could race from one to the other. And I could go do that. I mean, and this is in the bubble, so people will be able to reach this. They'll be able to come and visit this because this is right inside the bubble. This is not a distant site. And I do have a little bitty base. So, but that is, as I was saying, that racetrack is 53,000 light years away. So that would be 106 jumps in a fleet carrier. No, 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 no. That's a lot of jumps. That's way more tritium than I got. So I gotta mine a lot of tritium to get back to that if I want to build it. Or I could park and just fly my ship back there and go buy another ship and leave the fleet carrier back here, but I don't want to do that. So that's the quandary I'm in. After I fill League of Carnage with tritium, where do I want to go? I got the whole galaxy. In fact, let me show you something. Give you an idea what's around here. I am right about here in the Formian frontier. Here. So, this right here, this is permit blocked areas. There's 3 of them. Why is there a permit locked area clear the frick out here? What is the point of something permit locked? So the devs must have something planned. I don't know. So now I'm right about here. There's a planetary nebula. Yeah, that's that one I showed you. That's a planetary nebula. Another one. So little planetary nebulas. There are multiple fleet carriers nearby. DSSA fleet carriers. They're right at that junction. This is a permanent fleet carrier. This is Black Sagittarius, just some dude, and only his friends can park there. So just looking to see what's around. Class B glass giant, class 2 gas giant, squid mollusks. Oh, hold me back. Rosebum squids. No features. Oh wait, in case you're wondering what page this is edastro.com. They have an interactive map. You can go and turn on all of these things and see everything. including your own fleet carrier, which my fleet carrier was showing up right here until yesterday. I haven't moved. It just dropped it from the map. Probably realized who I was and went, dude, drop that guy. DSSA carrier, another DSSA carrier. Oh no, that's who knows? That's somebody's carrier. So if you ever decide you want to go out into the black and you're worried about being all alone out there, there are fleet carriers all over the place. DSSA put fleet carriers out here, so you're never that far. So it has happened to me before where I was out in the middle of nowhere, busted my windshield. Can't repair that with limpets. You got to go to a shop to repair the windshield. And I basically just kept using mats to restart my air while I kept jumping to the nearest DSSA fleet carrier. If I hadn't been able to make it to that carrier, I would have probably lost a billion credits. But they have those carriers there just for that. So thanks to the DSSA initiative, the black isn't as dark as it used to be. So anyhow, that's where I am. There is some stuff around. There's a few things to see, points of interest, little things, Tritium Highway. If I zoom out, yeah, this happens. I have way too many things turned on. So you get down here in the middle, and there is a lot of stuff to go see. So go to Ed Astro sometime and check it out. Let me show you something. We're going to turn a few of these off. People have burned courses into the galaxy like this meme. Remember the two chicks screaming at the cat? Well, there's the cat. And that's that show Among Us or whatever it is. Free Harry Potter, send nudes. All sorts of crazy stuff. People just went out and they flew these courses over and over again. Or the bigger one, this was, I don't even know who that is. This one I think was the Fleet Carrier Association. They all, a bunch of guys in fleet carriers did this. So that's a lot. That's about 15,000 light years tall. Just a point of reference. This is a block someone investigated. Some guy just went out and just made a block. Here's another block. Someone else made a block. This is 4 or 5,000 light years. A cube. Just got to export everything in there. Uh, this one, there's a cube in here. There's a cube in here. You find bubbles, crazy stuff people have done on a galactic scale. So, anyhow, I'm parked here. Let's get back to so there was another question that I was trying to solve today, or been trying to solve for a while. And that question is can first off, the T11 that we're using today is a much better mining ship than anything that came before it. If you had any mining ships before the T11, you wind up parking them. I had like 3 or 4 that are all parked because what am I going to need them for? I got a T11, it does everything. So, but is the T11 so good that it can support a fleet carrier out in the black? And the question is, sure, if you like to mine a lot. It's a lot of mining to keep a fleet carrier afloat out here. If you're trying to cover a lot of distance. If you're just trying to, live out here, then sure, not so bad. So if you're going to come into the black, I suggest you you fill every last inch of your fleet carrier with tritium that you can buy in the rear before you come out here. Because once you get out here, it's a bit of mining. Um, we're going to mine here in a minute. I'm going to show you about how fast you can mine with one of these things. But roughly, it's about 45 minutes for 270 tons tritium. So takes about 71 to 75 tons of tritium per jump. You do the math. 100 jumps from anything, a couple of hundred jumps from the bubble. So it's a lot of tritium. To get back to the bubble is going to probably take me about 12,000 tons of tritium. 12,000 tons of tritium. And right now we have 2,500 tons of tritium. So, hey, no sweat. Just another 10,000 tons. And also, I want to pick up some more goodies, more alexandrite, more low temp diamonds. So when I get back, I can cash them in. I like to do that when you're out here. Fleet Carrier lets you stock up tons and tons of valuable stuff and cash it in at your leisure. So we're loaded up on limpets. Check the crew lounge. You're probably saying, why do you have a fighter pilot? Why would I have a fighter pilot out here? And the answer is, I don't know. I always take a fighter pilot when I mine because I only mine expensive stuff. I don't mine any of the cheap stuff. Tritium's the cheapest thing I mine, and that's just for the fleet carrier. Otherwise, I'd never touch this stuff. It's only 50,000 a ton. I mean, pff, I sneeze more than that. I usually go for alexandrite and things that come in around 200K per ton. All right, enough talking. Enough talk. We got coffee. We got a ship. We got the galaxy. Coffee. So we are going to go mine. You're going to see how long it takes to fill our tank. It is 15:53 according to the universal time. So that means by about 16:30 we will be full. All right, there's the hot spot. We're going to aim a little bit above it because of our slant angle. That way we come in right on top of it. Got our throttle almost there. In the words of Red Leader, almost there. Right before he blows up. That guy blowing up like that. Who does that? Almost there. Almost there. Here we go. Oh, 20 kilometers. Wow, look at the rocks swelling. That's interesting. I know. There's nobody here. We're in the middle of nowhere. I still carry a fighter. I mine expensive stuff. I don't screw around. All right, let's start mining. I haven't done a lot of changes to this machine, this T11. This was the Stellar class, I believe it was. I just bought it online. It was already pre-built pretty well. I added a single limpet, prospector limpet to it, and a dual fighter bay. That's about all I did. Tritium 6%. Here we go. Now we roll over, put all that stuff underneath us. So you're probably wondering, why am I using prospector limpets when I could just go around and laze every rock? I've tried blind lasing, and it actually does not work as well as you might think it does. It seems like, oh, I could just go around and just watch the limpets, but it actually takes longer to blind mine than it does with the prospector limpets. So you are better off using them as advertised. And the pulse wave analyzer, you don't need that for tritium mining. It doesn't work. We should probably back up. Oh, it's depleted. There we go. We put all that stuff right under us. So the limpets have a straight path right up our dookie chute. See? I got hit by that big rock. How about that rock? You look like a good rock. The only problem with the T11 is you have so many limpets that they frequently run into the prospector limpets when you launch them. That happens. And the prospector limpet dies. Ooh, 7%? I'll take that. Now the T11, this volley cannon, really works great, makes big chunks. You do got to watch out though. It will shoot your limpets and it will shoot the chunks. And when you shoot the big chunks, you don't get them back. It doesn't make little chunks, it makes no chunk. So you want to kind of either shoot an S pattern or a gentle roll or use some kind of a shearing angle. But you just got to be careful or you'll murder your limpets. Also, these big chunks, you want to have shields. I've seen guys building these things talking about, oh, I don't think I need shields to mine. Those chunks will fuck you up. So, yeah, you want to have shields because you run into those things. You bump into them all the time. They're big. Each of those things is a ton or more. He looks like a good one. Drunken Pumpkin. 4% medium. Oh, wow. I'll try that. Yeah, overall, I really love the T11. It's fast with a cargo scoop open, which the T9 was not. The T9 was agonizingly slow. It doesn't slow down very fast. The T9 didn't slow down very fast, so you had to be careful you didn't run your limpets over, whereas this thing handles really well. T11 handles well. The volley mining cannon is almost a cheat the way it works because it gives you all the good stuff up front. You don't have to wait for the good stuff. That all materializes in the first few seconds of lasing. But let's get up above this stuff. Always try to put that below you so the limpets can just go straight up your dookie chute. Let's launch a few. We're down a few limpets. Stupid limpets. Actually, limpets are really cool. If you're new to the game, limpets are totally dope. They do a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go and collect these chunks manually. You open your scoop and literally drive them right into your scoop, but that's a lot of work. Okay, go find us a new rock to haunt. How about you? Monohydrates, monohydrates, menthol. Anybody want some menthol? 6% low. I'll do it because I'm here. Keep in mind, I normally prefer to mine with at least a size 3 prospector limpet because that will give you two simultaneous limpets. Uh, the size of this ship, and I just didn't want to give up a couple of items, so I only have a size 1 single limpet. Oh, see that? I shot my own limpet. Damn it. Yeah, this thing shoots its own limpets. So anyhow, like I was saying, this particular build, I just have a single limpet controller. I don't have a dual limpet controller, which lets you target multiple rocks at the same time. And it is a much more efficient way. Now I could do that with the limpets, the main limpet. I can split those. See those 14 limpets down there? You can split that as prospector collector. And I did that for quite a bit. I actually flew a long time like that. I only recently added the extra limpet, but you just got to be careful because sometimes you wind up with too many prospectors and not enough collectors. So you have to institute certain processes to make sure that you don't wind up with a bunch of prospectors and 3 collectors doing all the work. But it is totally doable. You don't have to add a prospector limpet because it splits those. You have 14 limpets to do as you please with. You can use, and I usually set 2 for prospecting and 12 for collectors is what I normally do. But right now, like I said, I've got a separate one. And oh, remember what I said about shields? Look at that. We're at 8%. I just went through a cloud of those things and it knocked us down. So they do take a toll. Our shields will regrow, but okay. Find us a rock. Ooh, that one's got stuff on it. It's no subsurface deposits. And I'm actually going to leave those subsurface deposits. I don't feel like mapping the control. When you first get one of these T11s, they've got this huge fire group mapping, so you can use everything that's on board. And I don't use a couple of the weapons, so I just turn them off. Because you've actually got displacement missiles and seismic charges. And so if I'm going to go core mining, I'll enable it. Otherwise, I just turn them off. I'm doing strip mining right now. And the reason being, it just makes the control groups a lot shorter. We are there. Hmm. 20% medium. Hot damn, baby. Oh, look at that. It's not moving. We can just set a nice shearing angle. Look at this. How sweet is that? We can just set up a nice shearing angle so they shear off underneath us in a line. See that? Look at that. And I'll just steadily pull the stick back so I don't shoot my own lumps. There we go. And then we just move right up over it, and the limpets just run them straight up into us. Lamb, baby. Yeah, if you can get a good shearing angle, you can line them up, and it makes it real easy for your limpets. You always want to make it easy for your limpets because they're doing all the work. Here we go. Limpets just go straight up my dookie chute. Nope, my fighter doesn't like parking over there. Okay. 15% tritium on that rock. Let's get a shearing angle on this one too. Oh wow, I'm down 8 limpets. See, look at that nice conga line coming out of there. And I just roll a little bit. There we go. The conga line goes right under us, and the limpets are highly effective. While we're waiting, Let's not waste any time. Let's find another rock. You look like a good rock. It's kind of interesting. I have only been finding rocks full of tritium. Well, 24%. Wow. This is like my lucky day. So this one's rotating, so we're going to tweak it this way. Angle it right here. Give it a little shearing angle right under us. Just kind of shear to the right a little bit so we're not shooting our limpets. Look at that. They're all going right under us. 15%, 10%, 7%, 6%. Depleted. Look at that. The limpets are crazy. 177 tons out of 256. And when I mine, I fill the hoppers too. So I go home with 256 and an extra 8 tons in the hoppers. I fill it all, baby. We should probably get down a little bit. Eh, 7%. What the hell? Let's set a shearing angle right here. There we go. You know what? Let's just laze this guy while we're here. I don't see any chunks. Nothing. So that was our first rock that didn't have anything. Tritium, 8% medium. I'll take that. Let's go set us a nice little shearing angle along this face. There we go. And just steadily climb it. Climb it, climb it, climb it. Oh, I'm still shooting my own things. There we go. Let me just go ahead and get on it. Get your mouth around that. Sound like a Southern Rick Sanchez. And if you're not a Rick Sanchez fan, fuck you. Not really. It's okay if you don't like Rick Sanchez. I just think less of you, that's all. That's that nebula I told you about earlier. It's a cute one. There's a pulsar at the middle. Look, a dead limpet. %. What do you know? It's gonna be a tricky one though. We need to come on side it. This puts the conga line above us. We'll just have to shift when we're done. The way the rock rolls, it's kind of, you're stuck. Here we go. We'll just go get on top of it. Yeah, listen to those limpets do their work. Damn it. Wishing I had that multi-limpet controller right now. Tritium, 4%. Nah, I'm not going to go clear over there for 4%. Especially since I have a surplus of limpets. There was an update recently while I was offline. When I came back, limpets seemed to be super efficient. 5%. Come on, give me a rock with something to it. I'll take that. 18.9% medium. Oh, yeah. And it's not even moving. Look at that. We'll get a great shearing angle from this thing. Come on, let's get up on over it. We'll set a nice downward shear angle. Just put it right under us. Look at this. Watch. Start a slow drift. Right under us. Look at that. There we go. %16 low. I'll take that. All right, we're going to do a shear angle from the side here. It's a terrible shearing angle. Now I'm just pissing all over it. Up, I got some limpets killed there just now. I will take that. $16 and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. 213 tons. $23%. I will take that. That is better than a poke in the eye with a sharpened stick. Just going to do a S pattern on this one. It's going to be messy. It's not going to be a conga line. It'll just be a cloud. There we go. Let's get up on top of it. And we're 7 collectors short, so we're going to launch a few. $18 medium. I'll buy that. This is a pretty rich spot. Let's wait for the last stragglers to come in and we'll go harvest that other rock. 2 more. Shrunken pumpkin. That shape, I call them shrunken pumpkin. When you're core mining, this is the kind that will have valuables, that will have a core. You can tell because they look like a shrunken pumpkin. If you get into core mining, you'll see. There are certain types that have cores. Nothing. %9%. This one's really spinning, so we're going to set up a shearing angle right here. $4% low. Yeah, it's not even worth crossing the street for. Try again. I'll do 16%. Mm. 5%. It's not worth it. How about you? Oh, you already got a. How about you? So you can probably see how having a multi-limpet prospector controller would be beneficial. Like you'd be mapping multiple rocks at a time. And I could do it, but I'd have to take out the fighter bay, and I like the fighter bay. It's a twin fighter bay. So if I come under attack and they destroy my fighter, I can immediately launch another fighter. And the way I use fighters is I tend to leave them behind. I shove them in the enemy's face. The enemy's busy trying to kill them, and boom, I warp out of there. I don't even have weapons on this ship. It's pointless. It just takes up extra space to add weapons to a ship like a T11. I mean, are you honestly going to stop and fight a Fer-de-Lance? No. You're just going to run as fast as you can. So don't waste your time on weapons, except for maybe mines, because you can leave mines behind and then people run into them and, oh, we're here. We'll just do it. 4%. I shouldn't even bother, but what the hell? What was I talking about? I don't remember. It's almost beer time. It's almost 5 o'clock somewhere. Are we there yet? Come on, let's fill this thing up. 247. I still got 32 limpets. That means I have to throw a bunch of them away. Nothing. Come on. Show me some loving. $5%. Oh, fine. Because I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Find another rock. Oh, shit. We just came from that way. Never mind. Yeah. The knobby ones are good. Oh, you dirty dog. Now, if you're new to mining, you can tell your limpets to not collect stuff. It's in this menu over here. See that right there? That's how you can tell your limpets not to pick up certain things. Ow, I'm bumping into something. Water. I've been over here. Been over there. Look, a shrunken pumpkin. We'll do that one. See? Shrunken pumpkin. Dirty dogs. 18% tritium. I'll take it. We're getting there. 14%. I'll take that. I'll buy that for $1. All right. They're all back. Hey, baby. Wow. That's a big one. Get out of here. Hi, baby. Sorry, I got a cat in my lap here, so hold on. Fly with one hand and pet with the other. Yeah, how's my fat cat doing? He's not sensitive about his weight at all. Of course, this also means I'm flying without rudder pedals because when the cat's in the lap, he doesn't like your feet going up and down with the rudder pedals. So I'll fly without yaw. Yeah. 25%. Holy moly. Or as Snoop Dogg would say, holy smokes. Get it? Because he's, get it? Now, this next part, a lot of people will tell you that with the T11, you don't need the big hopper like I have. We'll do that one. See, I have 8 hoppers. Well, I disagree. Sorry, I gotta focus when I'm lasing. Make sure I don't run over my limpets because I have 0 limpets. So if I accidentally shoot any of my limpets right now, it'll take longer to finish the load. And I'm kind of done. I want to fill this thing up. So I am full of tritium. Now I'm just filling the hoppers. Fill, fill, fill. So a little bit more. I'll top off those last 2. And then we'll go home. Almost there. They came from behind. Come on. Oh, are you Okay, random rock. Let's go laser rock. We need like a ton. You look like a candidate. No, not a candidate. Oops. That's why you have shields. Okay. We're full. All hoppers are full. So secure the weapons, close the cargo hatch, recall the fighter, switch to navigation, lock onto the carrier, prepare to depart. And my fleet carrier is over there. Fighter's almost on board. The cat has left my lap. So that means I can now use my rudder pedals. There we go, baby. Look at that. We're pretty close. Bye bye, limpets. Bye bye, limpets. So actually, one of them still got stuff. That pointy one means it has something in its claws. Okay, cats, what are you getting into? Hold on. Now, the one thing I don't have on here is I don't have Super Cruise Assist on this ship. There just wasn't a slot for it without giving something up. So when I fly this ship, I have to manually fly it. I don't get to use Super Cruise Assist, which I'm actually a big fan of. I like Super Cruise Assist because I can look at the other ships, I can scan them, pick up mats, see if there's bad guys lining up on me, that sort of stuff. There's my girl, League of Carnage. Parking space. Almost there. You know, I'm glad Red Leader blew up. Counting his chickens before they were laid. That is one of the differences with landing in VR versus a flat screen. You can actually look around like you're a helicopter pilot and see what's going on. So we're back. It's 1644. Took us about 45 minutes to come up with 256 plus 8. So let's transfer all that over to the carrier. It's transferred. And then we hear the hoppers empty out. We go back to the transfer. Transfer all to carrier. Confirm items transfer. So I have 2,800. I need more tritium to go pretty much anywhere. So I'm going to be here mining for a while. Oh, I am paying something like 100,000 credits per ton. So if you are looking to make some money, I am looking to buy tritium out in the middle of nowhere. So this is the awkward part of the conversation where one of us has to cut it off and say goodbye. As you've seen, the T11 is a good enough miner to keep a carrier afield, but you really got to like tritium mining. Or bring friends. That's my suggestion. If you're going to bring a fleet carrier out here, bring a bunch of friends who can mine, support it. And I'm not telling you don't bring a fleet carrier out into the black. Just remember, it's considerably harder to take a fleet carrier into the black than it is a ship. In fact, by comparison, taking a ship into the black is a relatively carefree process because you just jump, you scoop, jump, scoop, jump. That's it. For the fleet carrier, you got to plot every jump, wait. It takes about 20 minutes per jump, 15 to jump, 5 to cool down, 70 to 80 tons of tritium every jump, depending on how loaded you are, how much stuff is on your ship. So if you get a bunch of cargo, it could be as much as 150 tons of tritium if you are loaded with diamonds. And so that means when you get out in the middle of nowhere like I am now, it's a lot of fuel to get anywhere. Just to get to Beagle Point would be more fuel than I have right now. So yeah, you can get around. It's better if you have friends. If you come out here in a fleet carrier, stock up to the gills with tritium before you come out here. And that's it. Y'all have a good day.